Misty, one of my mother's favorite songs, and probably one of your mom's favorites as well. It's a great song. It reminds me of breakfast also for some reason. I don't know, maybe because it's misty in the mornings. At any rate, in the mornings, I like to have eggs with anything. Eggs with salmon, eggs with lox, eggs with beans and rice, eggs with pork chops, eggs with steak. Basically, whatever I had last night with eggs equals breakfast to me. One of my favorite breakfasts is what back home in New York we would call lox and eggs, which would be essentially smoked salmon, usually cut very thin slices, red onions, gotta have those onions, and eggs. Now along with that, I'll also add in some avocado for those essential omega-3 fatty acids that help to make our brains really smart and clever. Obviously didn't work in my case. And some lime, a drizzle of lime over it really brings out the tartness and the sweetness of the avocado. So lox and eggs, and to make it southern, to really mix this up culturally, I like to put in some grits. When we were growing up, my mom would make grits most mornings for us. Grits, if you never had them, are smooth, pleasant, real comfort food. Yeah, I just love eggs, eat them every day. And this is a really easy and quick breakfast, low carb, because I kind of like to keep things low carb as much as possible, even though I'm going to put some grits in this sucker. And it has, once again, omega-3s in the form of, first off, the salmon, the lox or the smoked salmon, and of course the avocado, which is a tremendously good source of omega-3 fatty acids, good for the brain. So I start out by aligning all my materials, kosher salt, red onions, the smoked salmon, a little bit of lime for the avocado, a little bit, in my case, margarine. You might use butter or some other cooking oil, and of course the dry grits. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze some lime over the avocado, and this is less for flavor than it is to just keep the avocado from turning brown, which it does. It begins to oxidize almost immediately after being exposed to the air. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to take my eggs and crack them on my bowl. 1, 2, 3. Now I do not have a problem with cholesterol at all. I eat 2 to 3 eggs a day every morning, and I love it. And I might have other issues, but I don't have any trouble eating eggs whatsoever. I put a little bit of kosher salt in there. If you have an issue, a health problem with eating eggs, just eat the egg whites. You can buy egg whites just by themselves these days to make it easier on yourself. Okay, I've got the little kosher salt in there. Now I'm going to take some soy milk. In your case, if you can tolerate regular milk, you can just use a little bit of light cream or regular milk. I'm using soy milk to just kind of thicken these eggs up, and we whisk. I've got my pan already getting hot over here. I'm going to use, in my case, this healthy margarine. I think you probably know by now that most margarines are not very heart healthy, as it turns out. Some of them are full of omega-6 acids, which are not good for us. But the kind of margarine that I use has omega-3 fatty acids, which are, again, good for a good neurological function. Now, once again, you want your pan hot. So I'm just going to wait a moment until this pan is hot and smoking. Ordinarily, you chop up your onions and your lox and put them all in there together, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Notice I'm continuing to whisk. That's because I found that the more air I get in my eggs, the better. So now I'm going to turn this heat up a little bit. I'm going to fry this sucker up good and quick. Okay, I'm going to get in there with the fork and start mucking about. I'm going to add in the smoked salmon. This is just to kind of heat it up. I like my eggs pretty soft. Not everyone does. Now I'm getting a little bit of egg, a little bit of salmon, a little bit of onion, all together in there. Now because it's a red onion, you can eat this pretty much raw like you would in a salad. I'm going to bring this over here now and plate it up. Get this completely out of the way. Open up my workspace a little bit here. The song that I've chosen to go along with this dish is Misty. My mom used to whistle in the kitchen besides cooking, besides singing in the kitchen all the time. And Misty was one of her favorite songs. I can hear her voice right now, singing it to me and my brothers as we were little. Okay, now this is a bit of a play on lox and eggs. And now I'm going to take my avocado. I'm going to slice it right inside the skin. Makes my life a little bit easier. So that way, when I dig in there, it comes out in nice whole pieces like this. Makes for a nicer presentation. Now this is really a good avocado. Naomi, our sous chef, really has picked a beauty. And I'm so thankful that we have her working on the show. Okay, now that's our avocado. And the final ingredient to this dish, which is pretty much a New York dish, isn't it? I'm gonna spin it a little bit southern by putting in some grits. My mom would make grits most mornings for us. If you haven't had grits, you don't know what you're missing. Grits are not a low-carb food, but it's real comfort food. Grits is actually made up of the hominy part of the corn, and I don't know what that really means. I never did know. So maybe somebody there can write in and let me know what hominy and what grits really is. At any rate, people like to eat grits in all different ways. Some people like them with gravy. Some people like them with sugar. I just like mine with a little bit of butter, or in my case, margarine, because again, I can't really tolerate the lactose in butter. And there we have my version of lox and onions and eggs. We have beautiful Scottish smoked salmon, wonderful grits, nice, creamy, smooth avocado, and eggs that are fried or scrambled, not too hard. And I'm just going to give this a taste right now. Let's get a good tasting fork. Let's see how it goes, huh? Let's see. First off, I'm going to try some of the grits. The grits have a very, very mild flavor. Let's see how it goes. Wow. That really does taste good. Creamy, buttery smooth. Now a bit of the avocado. Nice and fresh. This is a really well-picked avocado. In fact, now I'm going to put a bit more lime on the avocado. Before I added avocado to prevent it from turning brown, now I'm drizzling some lime on it to just give it a bit more of a kick. Lime makes the avocado just really feel really, really fresh. So there we go. Delicious. Now, the smoked salmon, which is, really very, very salty. The egg, a little corner of the onion, and how does that taste? That tastes great. So, again, for this breakfast, I picked the song Misty, which you can hear in my album, KiTCHEN Music, at robertomighty.com. It's available at iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, and all over. Plus, of course, you can buy it straight from robertomighty.com. And as well, you can get this recipe and many others. Breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, and so forth. Okay? Enjoy.